Hello, and welcome to this exclusive MECU Publications LLC interview. I'm Rosemary Nagy, and this is my brother,
Stephen Nagy.
He is the main creator and author of Poster Smash, and I am the co-author and illustrator. We would like to take a moment to thank Mrs. Coldren and her 5th grade class for allowing us this opportunity to speak with you today. And with that being said, let's get on with the questions. Question number 1. Where do you get your information and ideas for your books?
Well, I took a lot of inspiration from my own life. I used symbolism from the characters. They're symbolic to events and places I've been, people I've met, and even my own thoughts and viewpoints on certain things.
We basically see different patterns, different cultures, different personality types, and we treat it kind of like a cloud, where you look at it in the sky and it looks like a certain shape, and your imagination just fills in the holes to flesh out what you see. It's kind of the same way of writing a story. Question number 2. What was one of the most surprising things you learned in creating your books?
I think the most surprising thing I learned was that it's not a comedy, because I wanted it to be a parody of the action genre. I realized over time that it's hard to write a comedy when your life isn't one. Like I said before, I took inspiration from my own life and my own challenges, and it gave me ideas for the characters.
The thing I thought was surprising was the positive reception that my work in the story got. I knew Stephen would get all sorts of positive acclamations for what he's done, but when I first got on the project, I was very nervous, very self-conscious, and I always kind of spoke down to myself. But whenever my brother looked at my ideas, he's just like, I can't picture this story without you in it. So I went on and I realized that my work was just as positively received. And I didn't have to hide myself anymore. I could put my work out there and not be afraid of what people would think about me or my ideas. Question number 3. What comes first, plot or characters?
In our case, it was the characters that came first. And we came up with a plot that developed around them.
We came up with the characters when we were pretty little. It started out as a little game that we would play, and then it just eventually started to evolve into something more the older we got. And we eventually just started writing stories featuring our characters. And little did we know that it would turn into this. It's pretty crazy looking back. Question number 4. How do you develop your plot and characters?
I just think of what challenges the character would go through when I look at one of my characters, and I think, well, what is going to be his biggest struggle? And depending on how the character reacts to that challenge, defines them, defines who they are.
I'd say it brings out the good in them.
Yeah.
Question number 5. What are some ways that students can prepare to become good writers? One thing, learn to like editing. When we first started writing, we had no idea how much editing was involved. I even said one day, writing a book is 1% writing and 99% just kind of looking at what you're doing, just not knowing what happened to it. So the more you kind of get that patience to look over what you're doing again and again and again, the better it's going to be. Trust me, it can always be better. Question number 6. How do your books get published?
Well, there's no one way to publish a book. We self-published ours through Amazon's CreateSpace. But you can feel free to find a publishing house or any way you see fit. There's no one way to publish.
We decided to go with a self-publishing company because we knew exactly the image we wanted to put out there. We didn't want a publishing house to tell us what edits to make or what not to do. We wanted complete control. So that's why we started Meccy Publications, LLC. But, like my brother said, you can do whatever you want. Publishing house, self-published, it's all good in the end. Question number 7. Can you tell us about your books? It's pretty crazy.
It begins with main character Zolga's struggle to be recognized as a human being. And it goes from there. We have all these other characters that get involved. And it becomes everyone's struggle in one way or another. And we had so many different endings for our second book that we decided to make an ending for each of the main characters and have the readers decide which perspective they wanted to, whose character's perspective they wanted to follow.
And I thought it was interesting too, because growing up I was never really interested in reading, and Stephen thought it was kind of sad that I'm missing out on all these great stories because I just didn't like to read. So he thought back on the books that I liked reading growing up, just interactive novels. So we thought about incorporating that into the story as well to get older audiences back into reading. And this project really helped me get back into just stories in general. So I feel like we could help a lot of others get back into reading too. Question number 8. What does the title of your books mean?
Zolga and his father are on the run for using technology that they didn't have the rights to resurrect his son, Zolga. And it's called Poster Smash because they're trying to tear down not just the posters, but their reputation that they have given them. They're trying to break free.
They just want to live a regular life just like anybody else. So, Poster Smash, when they're initially tearing down the posters, Volume 2 is Posters Smashed. That part of their lives is behind them, and they're trying to move forward from that. And then Poster Smash Chronicles, it's all the stories that were based off of that event that just kind of sprung into action and have all these different timelines. Question number 9. Were the characters in your books inspired by real people? Yes, but not all of them.
One character was based off of a chaperone that I had in summer camp that I had a huge crush on. And she inspired the leading lady of the second book. And she first taught me to like myself. And that's the role that her character, Linear, plays for Zolga.
A lot of the characters that I designed are actually based off of a big mishmash of actors and character tropes that I personally liked. So technically, they're based off of real people, but not necessarily as much as Linear. And our final question for today, question number 10. What advice would you give to the students at Dunbar Township?
I would advise everyone to be who they want to be, or who they see themselves as. And don't let anything like your age, your diagnosis, or anything stop you from being who you see yourself as.
Stephen and I were both bullied in school, and we were told that we'll never get anywhere and nobody really believed in us, but that never made us stop doing and being things that we enjoyed. Stephen loved writing, and he had a real talent for it, and I just never skipped an opportunity to draw something whenever I got an idea. We never listened to anybody that told us we couldn't do something. So neither should you.
Yes.
And it's kind of fitting, because our story has the tagline, "Now it's your turn," because of all the interactive choices that you can make. Ultimately, the story is up to you, and it's your turn. So, the same thing kind of applies to life, in general. So, with that being said, now, it's your turn. Change the world. Oof, okay. No! Like my brother said, like, what's the use of creating things if you're just going to hide it from everybody? He really helped me with that, so thanks. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm editing that out.
You have a lot of editing to do. Should I shut it off and delete it and then start again?
Please.
Cliches, they're called tropes.
Let's talk about Aqua's journey as a character.
Oh.
Aqua!
Number 10. Sorry.
Ah! Look up in the sky and you look at the ground. What are you doing?
All these edited out.
No, I'm gonna leave them in.
This is whack.
The white balance on this is crap. Mechanics, as much as you hate me saying that word.
Because you use it a lot.
Because that's what it
I
means.
don't think it means what you think it means.
It is.
This is a good outtake.
Is it even on?
Yeah.
I thought you shut it off.
That's it.
I'll just
End
clip it. Clip
Cut
it. Clip it. Yeah. We're done. I'm done. I quit.